By its adoption of House Resolution 521, the House has resolved that the House of... I have all night. By its adoption of House Resolution 521, the House has resolved that the House of Representatives censures Adam Schiff, representative of the 30th Congressional District of California, for misleading the American public and for conduct unbecoming of an elected member of the House of Representatives. That Representative Adam Schiff will be forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure. That Representative Adam Schiff will be censured with the public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. And that the Committee on Ethics shall conduct an investigation into Representative Adam Schiff's falsehoods, misrepresentations, and abuse of sensitive information.
So the lying snake in the grass, Adam Schiff, has been officially censured by the House of Representatives. Last night, the California representative, who's become notorious for, shall we say, truth-challenged statements, faced a stunning humiliation as he was censured for his years-long dissemination of Russia collusion, lies, and misinformation. The original resolution accused Schiff of knowingly and deliberately promoting a false narrative that Trump colluded with Russia to steal the 2016 presidential election. Here's a sample of Schiff's shit show that he attempted to defraud the American people with.
This is about as clear evidence you could find of intent by the campaign to collude with the Russians, to get useful information from the Russians.
I think there's plenty of evidence of collusion or conspiracy in plain sight.
I did say that there is ample evidence, and indeed there is, of collusion of people in the Trump campaign with the Russians.
Well, as of last night, the censure resolution passed with 213 members voting in favor and 209 opposing. We'll be talking about the feckless, weak, cowardly Republicans who abstained from the vote in a moment. But as a result of the censure passage, Schiff is now going to be placed formally under investigation for his antics in the Russian collusion hoax. The resolution to censure Schiff was originally introduced by the amazing Republican Representative Anna Paulina Luna. Here's what she had to say after its successful passage.
So, Congresswoman, what kind of impact do you think this censure is going to have?
Well, he's going to go down in history for exactly who he is, which is someone that tore apart our country, lied to the American people, exploited and abused his position of power, and ultimately was responsible for one of the biggest fraudulent investigations into any president in the history of the United States. But you know what's interesting, Jesse, is I saw Adam several times today in the halls of Congress, and every time, you know, he looked at the floor, it's going to stick with him. I think regardless of what he's saying, I think it's weighing heavily on him. He's one of only a few to ever be censured in U.S. history.
Now, this makes Schiff only the 25th congressman ever to be censured by the House of Representatives in the history of our nation. It is, in terms of historical precedent at least, a big deal. And in this case, well-deserved. One of the key allegations against Schiff is his role in deliberately lending credibility to the now disgraced Steele dossier, which contained unsubstantiated and salacious accusations connecting Trump to the Kremlin. That dossier has now, of course, been completely debunked as an outright fraud, and Schiff knew it. It was bought and paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign through its law firm Perkins Coie. The resolution further claimed that Schiff knowingly composed a false memo justifying the FISA warrant used to spy on Trump. In other words, Schiff knew the FISA warrant was issued under false pretenses, under the fake Steele dossier, that it was used as justification, but he justified it anyway, and in the process misled his investigative committee and Congress. So the guy is as crooked as they come, to put it mildly. Now, despite the resounding condemnation, Schiff remained unyielding, demonstrating his unwavering dedication to pushing falsehoods without remorse. And we shouldn't be surprised by that. I mean, The guy has no moral integrity. He sold his soul long ago, as did the Democrats, who rallied faithfully to his defense, surrounding him with love and affection and adoration as he entered the House chamber. The party that doesn't know what a woman is apparently also doesn't know what honesty is or integrity, or falsely leading our nation to a completely unjustified 2-year-long special counsel investigation to the tune of tens of millions of wasted tax dollars. Apparently for the Democrats, this is a good thing. Here's 150-year-old Nancy Pelosi trying to keep her teeth in her mouth amidst her seething rage before she gets beautifully shut down.
Today we are on the floor of the House where the other side has turned this chamber, where slavery was abolished, where Medicare and Social Security and everything were instituted, they've turned it into a puppet show. A puppet show. And you know what? The puppeteer, Donald Trump, is shining a light on the strings. You look miserable. You look miserable. The only advantage to all of this is that instead of reversing what we did on the IRA to save the planet, or reversing what we did to reduce the cost of prescription drugs, you're wasting time. Adam Schiff is one of the greatest members of that.
The gentleman's time has expired.
I have
the gentleman's
10
time
more
has expired.
seconds.
The gentlelady's time has expired.
He said his is expired?
The gentleman from Maryland's time has expired.
Okay.
The gentleman from Florida is recognized.
Hey gang, we're seeing it unfold right before our very eyes. Millions of average Americans are speaking with their dollars and boycotting Bud Light. And as we could all see, this boycott is really hitting them right in the gut. Bud Light pushed their woke agenda through Dylan Mulvaney, and we the little guys responded with a massive boycott, resulting in billions of dollars of lost revenue because of their leftist ideology. But boycotts are not enough. We need boycotts as well. We need to be supporting those patriot businesses that defend our values, all the while crushing woke corporations. It's time to stand and fight, and you can do that by clicking on the link below and visiting our amazing friends over at Patriot Switch. Patriot Switch gives us the ability to walk away from woke consumer product companies and instead shop at only conservative supporting Patriot-owned, American-made consumer product companies. So what are you waiting for, gang? This is amazing. Join our little guy boycott movement now at patriotswitch.com/Turley to help to stick it to the woke left. Yeah, sit down, Nancy. You've done enough. Your time is done. Now, speaking of those whose time is done, I want to address the feckless, pathetic Republicans who refuse to hold Schiff accountable. There were 6 Republicans who chose to run and hide from all this by voting merely present. And these 6 are Ken Buck of Colorado, Michael Guest of Mississippi, Dave Joyce of Ohio, John Rutherford of Florida, Michelle Fischbach of Minnesota, and Andrew Garbarino of New York. They all voted present. In other words, by default, they voted against the resolution to censure Schiff. And I want that to hit you. I want what they did last night to really get to you. You can knowingly lie and intentionally spread falsehoods and misinformation for 3.5 years that tore our nation apart, deliberately undermined a Republican president, and wasted tens of millions of taxpayer dollars in the process. You could do all that, and as far as these 6 feckless Republican rhinos, as far as they're concerned, that's fine. No problem. Go for it. You shouldn't have to face any major repercussions for that. Now, some are trying to cover their ass. And the argument here is that most of them serve on the House Ethics Committee that's going to be investigating Schiff, and their decision to vote present was an effort to maintain an appearance of impartiality given their committee roles. Now, if you buy that, I've got some oceanfront property in Arkansas to sell you. I came across a tweet that said it best. And this was in response to the original 20 Republicans, including Tom Massey, to his shame, who balked at fining Schiff millions of dollars for the fraud he knowingly perpetrated. In effect, the tweet said, "We're never going to win until we realize that playing by the rules doesn't work when the other side believes there are no rules. Playing by parliamentary rules doesn't work when the other side has declared all-out war." And this is a weakness in the Republican Party that the Democrats, to their credit, have thus far exploited. They're willing to pursue tactics they know Republicans will never pursue because doing so would destroy the country. Everything, literally everything the Democrats do today is predicated on a simple premise. Were the opposition, were Republicans to match tit for tat these Democrat antics, then the Republic would quickly descend into a spiral of illegality and chaos analogous to what ended the late Roman Republic. That fact is well known to the new hard left of the Democrat Party, so it's assumed the role of the spoiled teen who feels he has a blank check of lawless behavior that his parents would not dare emulate, given that for adults to do so would destroy the family. In other words, the left is acting the way they do because they know that were Republicans to respond in kind by mimicking their own tactics, the end result would destroy the republic that conservatives love. So Democrats are basically holding us hostage to our love and fidelity for our nation. And what these feckless Republicans simply don't get is the fact that the Democrats, by descending into such tactics, lawless, ridiculous tactics, they have already destroyed our nation. They have already robbed us of the nation that we've always loved. And so now the only question is, what are you going to do to get our nation back? That's what these feckless Republicans aren't even asking themselves. But they'll need to. They'll need to if they expect voters to put them back in office long term. So obviously we'll keep an eye on how things develop here with Schiff. While it's nowhere near what he deserves, we will take what we can get here and hope the best in terms of justice is yet to come. Hey, gang, I know what it's like to feel alone out there in these turbulent times, but I broke free. If you, too, have been looking for a community with like-minded patriots who are serious about resisting globalism, building a parallel economy, and having intelligent and deep fellowship on a regular basis, then you've come to the right place. In my Courageous Patriot Insiders community, we're building a close-knit movement of, by, and for patriots who are breaking free from the outrage and despair cycles of the mainstream media and taking on the fight against globalism. Every week, I deep dive into the content I can't share on big tech and give you the cliff notes on the truth of how patriots just like you are building up their communities, starting patriot businesses, and fighting the woke in both public and private. All with a few history and political lessons from yours truly, of course. If you want to stop feeling alone as a patriot and stand together with this fast-growing community, be sure to click on the link in the description below. Don't wait. Join me and my Patriot Coalition today, and let's get fighting.